Engineer Jesus Nicdao is the chairman and CEO of Nidal Management Corporation. He has 23 Jollibee stores in North Luzon and 12 Chowking stores. He is an 11-time Franchisee of the Year for Jollibee Foods Corporation and awarded Franchisee of the Year for Chowking Food Corporation 6 times. No wonder he is called the Franchise King of North Luzon. Engineer Jess Nicdao is also the chairman of the Pampanga Chamber of Commerce. And he is not only a successful businessman, he is also an internationally renowned civic leader. He founded the Shelterbacks Philippines in 2010 and president of the Help and Assistance for Rotary Philippines Districts since 2014. He also served in government in various capacities since 1994 until 2004. Makakasama natin sa ating BizBaz ang tinaguriang Franchise King ng Central Luzon. Join me in welcoming Engineer Jesus Jess Nicdao of Guagua, Pampanga.
Thank you. Thank
Sorry,
you for
Jess.
having me, Ma'am Sonia.
I saw your CV and your curriculum vitae says you are an engineer by profession, an electrical engineer. Tell us a bit about your educational background. Did you dream of becoming an engineer or did you dream of becoming a businessman?
Well, both. Number one, when I was in high school, I loved doing engineering works, electronics and electrical works, and so I decided to take up electrical engineering. And I thought that the best school then was Mapua. After graduation, I worked with a famous appliance company, Panasonic, Philippines. And then there was a calling for me to get to sales engineering. Sales engineering. So I went to Phelps Dodge Philippines, a San Miguel Corporation company, which is involved in the manufacture of electrical wires. But my job there was not really engineering. It was more of sales. So I began my journey as a sales engineer, ultimately forming our own company. When my wife finished her residency in medicine, she decided to go back to Pampanga to work here as a pediatrician. So that was like 2 years, me working in Manila and she working in Pampanga. And then she decided, bakit hindi ka na lang dito? Mag-isip ka na lang ng negosyo dito. And so I did that. That was the start. But even before that, I took my master's in Ateneo in business. Although I did not totally finish it because I had to travel between Pampanga and Manila, but I was practically 90% finished, and then I took several other courses in management, like the John Clements. I did the corporate governance with ICD, cooperative management course. All of these I took after graduation and during the course of my work in Manila. So that was the reason why I came back to Pampanga. Kasi utos ni Mrs. dito ka na lang sa akin.
Utos ni Mrs.
Yeah.
Okay. Sir Jess, our viewers do not know that your parents are well known in Pampanga. Your father, Roberto Nicdao Sr., is a well-respected man. As a matter of fact, there is a marker in the town of Guagua to recognize and remember him, right?
Yes.
Please tell us about your parents, your siblings, because I know you have, siblings in media and, in the religious community. Tell us about Dr. Mimosa and your children.
Yeah, my parents, Roberto is a public school teacher, and then my mother is an accountant. one of the first CPAs in Pampanga. What made them popular is probably their generosity. Both of them, siguro, before my mother died, she was estimating the number of scholars that they had over the years. And the numbers sum up to about more than 280 or nearly 300 students that they were able to help. So that's probably why they were honored. In fact, the honor given to my father goes also to my mother, and they have a park in Guagua named after my father.
Yeah, yung brother nyo, di ba? May brother kayong pare.
Yes, yes.
Tapos, syempre, yung boss natin sa kapisanan ng mga broadcaster ng
Yeah, yeah.
Pilipinas for the longest time, kapatid ninyo, si June
Yeah.
Nicdao, right?
We are a big family, but I think the best gift that our parents gave to us is not really material things, but they really struggled to get us to the best education institutions in the country. My eldest is Rafi, is a doctor of medicine, and from the time on, after graduation, he was one of the most popular doctors in Guagua because kung wala kang pera, libre. Ganun. And then myself, and then June. After June is Albert, who is in the States. He's a retired military. And then Cherry, an accountant, is also in New York. And then Father Vic Nicdao was ordained priest siguro more than 30 years ago. And my brother now, Father Victor, is director of the major seminary of the Mother of Good Counsel Seminary.
Yes.
And
Yes.
then Ray, an engineer, also works in the States. Jose, also in New York. And then si Raul. Raul also is a graduate of De La Salle and is one of the top-notchers in mechanical engineering. And he worked for a long time with Procter & Gamble, and now he is with the Robinson Gokongwei Group. And my last sibling is Freddie. He works for us at the Nidal Group. He's the managing director of our Chowking group. I have two daughters, Maita, who is now working with us in the Nidal Group, and Angela, who will be graduating college this year. And then I have three grandsons, puro lalaki.
Ano yan, magbubuo na naman kayo ng basketball team. Okay.
Magulo pero masaya, di ba?
Yes, masaya.
I cannot imagine myself being in a small family because we used to, Sonia, I don't know if you experienced this. During our years when we were young, we were sleeping all together except for the sister. All the 9 boys are sleeping in just siguro 2 banig on the floor, and then nakailera kami parang sardinas, ganon. That's our life for many years during the early years. Yeah. And I'm proud of it.
Yeah. And I'm sure you are proud of it.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you too. Just listening to your story makes me a proud Kapampangan. And of course, Mrs. Nicdao is a doctor. Is she still practicing as a pediatrician?
Well, my wife Mimi is one of the first pediatrician. In fact, I think she was the first pediatrician in Guagua. But during those years, she was having like 150 patients a day, 2 to 3 days in a week, and then 2 hours per day na lang. Sabi niya, kung wala naman akong gagawin, baka mabore ako dito sa bahay kung hindi clinic. So, clinic pa rin siya.
Paano mo pinasok ang mundo ng franchising?
When Jollibee started to expand in the provinces, nagkaroon na sa Dao, Angeles, and then San Fernando. Sabi ko, maybe I should try this. Pero hindi ko sinabi sa kanila. Hindi ko sinabi kahit kanino na I was applying for Jollibee because to us, to many of us, it was really a dream. At saka parang mahirap kumuha during that time. And if you look at the story during those years in the late 90s, kung titingnan mo yung profile ng mga franchisees ng Jollibee, majority Chinese. Kasi yung owners Chinese,
Yeah.
said that they are like friends of the owners or kakilala. Ang alam kong hindi Chinese, dalawa lang during that time. So, but sabi ko,
Okay.
I have a dream, so I had to do this. If I fail, then I fail. So, but then I have to try again with other things. So I went through the process and then went to the final interview. At least sabi ko, pag naka-final interview ako, kahit mag-fail ako, at least ano. And you know what? During the final interview, I think one of the toughest questions was the one that really siguro pushed them to select me. And then I asked them, how much is the investment? 10 million. Sabi ko, gano'n, 10 million. Sabi ko, I only had, during that time, 300,000. And then I had to loan from, get a loan from my parents. And then my partner, si Marco, sabi ko, mamutang tayo sa bangko. And during that time, Sonia, the interest rates was like 24%. If you have 24% interest now, you will not live with your business.
Yes.
24% is
Mataas.
that was the trend during that time. And we opened our first Jollibee December 22, 1990. 6 months after pumutok ang Mount Pinatubo. And it was like we had one of the na-depressed talaga kami because imagine lahat ng pera mo pinundar mo na doon, nangutang ka pa, tapos nagpinatubo. Yung tindahan namin, you had like one foot of sand over our roof and in front of our store. So sabi namin, patay na tayo dito. Di ba? But you know, we struggled, we work hard, and then we won. We won over the calamity, and every time that I'm asked now about how to survive another disaster or calamity like COVID, sabi ko yung mga Kapampangan ang tanungin nyo dyan kasi yung Pinatubo is something that is even worse than this COVID. After that, we build more stores and then we ventured with Chowking because there was a time during those years that they stopped giving franchises of Jollibee. So they asked us if we wanted Chowking, so we went to Chowking because it was a sister company. Yun, and then we were successful.
We have 35 stores now.
Yeah, no, we have, actually right now we have almost 40.
Oh, more than almost 40 na. Kasi the last time I counted, 35. You also have in Baguio, right?
We have 2 in Baguio already. And then Manawag, we have a Jollibee and Chowking in Manawag.
And I know that despite the popularity of Jollibee and Chowking, you were also affected by the economic crisis brought about by the pandemic, right?
Yeah, we were closed for like 1 month or a little less than 1 month in a majority of our stores. And but when we started opening, I mean personally, I thought that siguro hindi mag-succeed kasi nga there was lockdown in many places. So, but when we opened and tried operating, we saw that there is really a potential in opening. Meron namang ano, and right now we're doing like for the Jollibee stores we're doing like 70 to 80% of pre-COVID, which is which is good. And then Chowking is about 50-60% of pre-COVID.
Yeah.
But the good side of it is that the operating cost now is a little is lower